3 straight games now with 35 points in the playoffs. Obviously, we know what you're capable of doing, but it's a kind of a departure from what you've tried to become over the course of the regular season, especially post All-Star break when you were averaging about 7 or 8 assists. What was it that made you had to become the just kind of like a takeover guy for so long, so much of this series? What were they trying to do? What were they doing that made you have to do what you did?
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier. We're very talented. We can win in a bunch of different ways. They kind of, went to the extreme, right? Really trying to take our threes away, switching everything. Basically inching out, not helping. It was tough. Just from like a assist and playmaking standpoint, they just weren't really opportunities because they were just leaving guys on the island. So just whatever the game called for. Tonight it opened up a little bit more. They went zone. They had some different matchups out there, so they had to play a little differently. So I was able to try to play make and distribute a little bit more today. But yeah, they just kind of forced us to play a little differently.
And we talk about what your teammates are capable of, but they did have to kind of stand and watch you and Jalen a lot of this series. For guys who are capable of doing a lot of scoring, what does it say about them that nobody forced the issue really this series? They said, okay, it's you guys doing it, and we're just going to have to sit and wait, and just whatever happens next series happens next series.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a balance, right? You don't want it to be stagnant, right? We want to utilize everybody on our team. That's what makes us who we are. I think in Game 4 and tonight we had some off-ball movement, and I think getting out in transition just kind of helps everybody be involved. But sometimes it does call for a matchup that we have, and we get to our spacing, and you got to trust the guy with the ball, whether it's myself or JB or whoever, to make the right play. If it's attacking your man and playing off 2 feet and getting to the cup 5 times in a row, whatever, that's what we gotta do. We just gotta make the right read.
Jayson, I felt like Jalen was very intentional about pushing the pace in the series. Really, all you guys were after Game 3 when they tried to bog you down. Why was that important to get the ball up past half court faster? What would that do for your offense?
Yeah, I think playing against a set defense, like them, they got a bunch of capable defenders. They switch everything. So just playing against a set defense the entire time is tough. So just finding opportunities where you can push the ball ahead and create some advantages. Help us out.
Jayson, the Magic obviously embraced physicality throughout the series. I'll kind of mention that you guys kind of looked past that, and the goal was to just win the game, I guess. How were you guys able to do that, even though it was a pretty physical series?
Just whatever the game calls for. I say it all the time. We can win a quarter, a game, a series in different ways, and we showed that this series.
Jayson, how were you guys able to kind of turn the tide there in the second half when Paolo went out?
Got him in foul trouble. Just understanding that, he's their best player and he really, drives them. So he got in foul trouble, he had to sit. And, we didn't really like the way we played in the first half, and we were only down 2. But we just stuck with it and kind of turned it up a notch, and, the game was able to open up for us.
You put a lot of pressure on yourself throughout your career. I watched Celtic City, saw you say you were devastated when you lost the finals. Now that you've won a championship, this is your first series since. Is there any freedom to that? Is there any change mentally there? Does that unlock anything in you?
Yeah, I said it. This season was like the most relaxed and carefree that I've been in my career. Understanding that, we won last year and we accomplished the ultimate goal, and you kind of got that monkey off your back. So, obviously the goal is still the same this year, to win and compete for a championship. But I've just enjoyed this season of playing carefree basketball and not having that hang over my head. And it's been fun to do. and I just have just a sense of freedom that I've just carried this season, with that.
How does that change your play on the court, that sense of freedom?
It just kind of allows me to focus on the task ahead. I'm not worried about trying to prove anybody wrong or anything like that. It's understanding I know what I'm capable of. I know what we are when we, play a certain way. We've shown that. So it's all about, getting to that level.
You've had players, kind of like more veteran star players, kind of mentor you over the years, and now with Paolo, it's another kind of younger player coming up now that you've helped mentor over the years. What's it like competing against the guys that you've kind of helped show the way, and what is it like being in that position in the league now?
It's cool. I got to talk to him a little bit in the hallway after the game. I didn't say 2 words to him during the series. That's tough, but that's part of competing. Just trying to just have that edge throughout the series. But I couldn't be happier for him and the player that he's become. From Duke and year after year. He was unbelievable this series. He made it tough on us. He's a matchup nightmare, and he's only going to continue to get better and better. And I'm certain that we'll have many more battles, in the upcoming years.
Jayson, do you feel like the way you guys finished that third quarter, when you kind of saw an opportunity and seized it, says kind of a good thing about your mindset as a group on how to attack when an opportunity presents itself? We're a really good team. We're a really smart team. We understand who's on the court for us and what our strengths are, and we read the lineup on the other team, and we know what the advantages are, and we realize it in real time, and we have an answer for whatever the problem is, and we just get right to it.
Last question to Gary.
Jayson, starting with game 1 with the wrist injury, and for the whole team, it just seemed like an uncomfortable series. You guys kind of lived in that uncomfortable state and kind of thrived in it. Is that a good thing? Did you guys show yourself something you could thrive in a 5-game series that you guys just never seemed to be comfortable?
Yeah, it was probably exactly what we needed. Good test, first round. A couple guys really banged up and dealing with some things, but showing that mental toughness of, getting up and getting ready for each game, and doing whatever it takes, whatever the game calls for, and just figuring out a way to win. That's all that matters this time of the year. And as a group, we've been through it all, and we showed it and proved it this series, and looking forward to the next one.